The Spurs stay alive with a 103-90 Game 4 victory against the Warriors in San Antonio.
Ginobili, 10 of his 16 here in the fourth quarter, electrifying the crowd.
Today is the deadline for Texans registering to vote in the May 22nd primary runoff election. And Valdez debates whether to give White a forum in their Democratic showdown for governor. I'm Chance Dorland with your Express briefing for Monday, April 23rd. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. Today is the deadline for Texans registering to vote in the May 22nd primary runoff election, and those who voted in the March 6th Republican or Democratic primaries can only cast ballots in the same party as they did 6 weeks ago. However, if you didn't vote in that election, you still have the option to vote either Republican or Democratic on May 22nd. Bexar County residents voting Democrat will cast ballots on the County Precinct 2 Commissioner's race, choosing between longtime County Commissioner Paul Elizondo or Veteran Service Officer Keita Rodriguez. The winner will face Republican candidate and defense attorney Teresa Connolly this fall. In the primary runoff for governor, former Dallas County Sheriff Lupe Valdez says she's fine with the idea of debating Houston businessman Andrew White, particularly if the people want her to do so. Valdez came in first in the primary and is considered the frontrunner in the May 22nd runoff. However, White gained newspaper endorsements before the primary after Valdez faltered under questioning by editorial boards, including an exchange with the Dallas Morning News in which she offered that she didn't know if the state spends $8 million or $8 billion on border control. The correct figure is $800 million. As a debate will leave Valdez open to making similar mistakes or being asked to provide specifics she doesn't yet have on her policy proposals, indications are that Valdez will find a debate format riskier. While White runs the same risk, he appears more certain of the basics and comes armed with proposals like increasing gambling, cutting business tax breaks, and shifting money from border security to boost education spending, though those proposals would face a legislature that is expected to stay majority Republican. While Valdez received 43% of the vote compared to just 27% for White, their May 22nd runoff is required as neither received a majority of the vote. And Sunday, the Spurs avoided a 4-game sweep as Manu Ginobili came through in what could have been his final home game with San Antonio.
Hello, everyone. It's Jabbar Young here at AT&T Center for your Express News Spurs Nation post-game wrap, along with Tom Worsborn. You see, we're wearing black. We're wearing black. We thought it was over, Tom. At least I did. I don't know why you're wearing black. I thought it was over. I thought the season was done. I knew the Spurs would fight. You knew they would give their best shot. But you would think that the Warriors just were too powerful. They had a lot of firepower. But in the end, that firepower was limited. Klay Thompson finally looked like he was a human and not just hitting crazy shots. Kevin Durant still had a good game, but the Spurs were able to pull it off, 103-90. They accepted the challenge. They came out, played 4 quarters of basketball, and for as the reward, they won a basketball game.
Huge for morale for everyone, for the players, the city. What they've been through the last 48 hours with the tragic death of Mrs. Popovich. It's just huge. They wanted this game so badly.
Yeah, I could tell in the first, game 3, obviously it was a tough game. Tony Parker, Danny Green kind of said, listen, this was a difficult one to play. Now that a few days passed, you kind of see this is a more at ease team. Now, I don't know if being down 0-3 the series, they felt more free. They felt just, hey, listen, let's just go out there and leave it all out on the floor. Because if that's the format, if that's the formula, I should say, maybe they're back in this series. They don't even know it if they can get one and go to state. But still, keeping their series alive here on their home floor, accepting the challenge, up 5 in the fourth quarter, 6:34 to go, and they close out a game. Something that they really haven't been that good at this season. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think everyone was fearing that would happen in the fourth quarter is what we've seen so much, blow a lead. But they didn't do it. They hung tough. I mean, it was just a great win. Like I said, a great morale-type win, and they made great adjustments. They finally put Danny Green on Klay Thompson. No disrespect to Patty Mills, but it's a big size disadvantage. Danny bothered him with his size and his physicality. And then they hit threes, and that's just huge. I mean, they were sagging off DeJounte Murray so much. the first 3 games, and he finally made them pay.
Yeah. 15 of 28, the Spurs finished from three-point land. And as you just mentioned, DeJounte Murray, the man finished 3 of 4, had 12 points, really added something to that starting lineup. I was glad he took the shots.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be left wide open and not take the shots. Then Golden State saying, you're falling right into what we want you to do. We want you to not take the shot and give it up. But he took the shot. Maybe that will help his confidence going into Game 5 because Golden State might leave him open again. And if he's open, especially from them corners, he's going to have to hit him.
That's the key right there. You just got to keep putting them up. And veterans like Danny Green know that, Patty Mills. But for a young fella to come out and to do that really showed me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 5 coming up on Tuesday time. What are we expecting here? I mean, is it going to be another one of those when we figure it's going to be a real funeral this time? And even if so, the Spurs still were able to get a game, which is impressive because being as though they're shorthanded, not having their best player, not having their head coach. What are you expecting in Game 5?
I'd like to say the resurrection began today, but they are a bad road team. And it's going to be hard for them to shake that. But if they execute like they did tonight, 20 assists, only 8 turnovers. If they shoot like they did tonight, if they play defense like they did tonight, they could do it. But it's a hard road. It's just a really hard road to travel.
Absolutely. Like as Rudy Gay said at when we asked them, listen, they wanted this one. They wanted this one for themselves, for their families, for the head coach, for the city of San Antonio. So for Manu Ginobili to not get swept in this series, it just says a lot. You might not win it, and right now they're not focusing on winning it, but to not get swept, it says a lot for the Spurs team, and they have another chance to keep their season alive on Tuesday.
It gets really interesting if they do pull it out in Golden State.
Absolutely. And it comes psychological because at that point you got to come back here at Game 6. That will be really, really interesting, but still got another one to play on Tuesday. Of course, we'll have you covered from Oakland up at Oracle Arena. Myself, Mike Finger, as well as Jeff McDonald. For Tom Moore's, I'm Jabari Yemma. Catch all your Spurs news at NotesExpressNews.com.
And that's your daily San Antonio Express News briefing for Monday, April 23rd. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. I'm Chance Dorland.